Imagine having $1 million in the bank, but still feeling trapped, stressed, and afraid to spend it. Sounds crazy? That's exactly what happens when your mindset around money is broken, no matter how much you earn. In the next few minutes, you'll discover 10 powerful shifts that can turn scarcity into abundance. Starting today, even if you're broke right now. Most people think the way to fix money problems is to make more money. But here's the trap. If you don't change how you feel about money, every extra dollar just multiplies the stress. So pause for a second. Imagine you're checking your bank app right now. Do your shoulders tense? Does your breathing get tight? Or do you feel calm, even grateful? Those little reactions are the pit in your stomach when a bill arrives, the rush of anxiety when your card is declined. They're not random. They're your money story speaking, a script you didn't choose but probably inherited from your parents' arguments about bills, from the way they sighed after grocery shopping, or from that time they told you, "We can't afford it." Here's the kicker. That story is still running in the background today, shaping every decision you make, and it might be the very thing keeping you broke. And until you see it clearly, you'll never rewrite it. Once you spot your money story, here's where it gets uncomfortable. A lot of us were raised on lines like, "Money doesn't grow on trees," or "We're not like those rich people." At first they sound harmless, maybe even practical. But what if I told you, every time you heard those words, your brain was wiring itself to see money as something distant, dangerous, or only for other people? Think about it. If deep down you believe rich people are selfish, you'll never let yourself become one because your brain wants to protect your identity as a good person. So you push opportunities away, you undercharge, you find ways to lose what you earn. Here's the truth no one told us. Money isn't moral or immoral. It's a tool like fire. In the wrong hands, it can destroy. In the right hands, it can light up the world. And if you don't rewrite this belief, you'll stay stuck in the same loop, no matter how many paychecks you collect. In a minute, I'll show you the fastest and strangest way to flip this story on its head, even if your wallet is empty right now. Here's the twist you probably weren't expecting. The fastest way out of scarcity isn't saving harder. It's not grinding for 80 hours a week. It's not even earning more, at least not at first. It's generosity. I know it sounds backwards. You're thinking, how can I give when I barely have enough for myself? But generosity isn't just about money. It's giving your time, your ideas, your energy. When you give without keeping score, you flip the script in your brain from "I have nothing" to "I have something worth sharing." And when you carry that energy into conversations, projects, and opportunities, people notice. Here's what's wild. Some of the wealthiest, most connected people on the planet aren't scanning the room for the smartest person. They're looking for the person who makes them feel energized, valued, and seen. And that's something you can start giving today, even if your bank account says $0. In the next part, I'll reveal why this hidden currency can be more powerful than cash, and how it quietly opens doors that money alone can't buy. Think about the most magnetic person you've ever met. They didn't just walk in with a thick wallet, they walked in with energy, passion, curiosity, joy. Those three traits are like social gold, and the wild part is they're free to develop. When you bring genuine enthusiasm into a room, you become the spark people remember long after the meeting ends. Skills matter, degrees matter, but energy makes people want to open doors for you. It's the reason some underqualified people land jobs over more experienced candidates. And here's where it gets interesting. This kind of energy isn't random. You can learn to create it on demand. In the next section, I'll show you exactly how to turn that hidden currency into real-world opportunities without ever asking for a favor. Most people approach networking like a shopping trip. They walk into a conversation thinking, "What can I get from this person?" But the people who win big flip that question. They walk in asking, "What can I create for this person?" That's how billion-dollar partnerships start. Not with a pitch, but with value. Here's an example. When Lewis Howes was broke, he didn't have money to offer, but he had access to something rare: connections. He offered to feature guests on a Times Square billboard through a partnership he had arranged for free. It cost him nothing, but to the people he invited, it was priceless. Those small acts of value-first generosity built relationships that led to book deals, podcast appearances, and collaborations he could never have bought outright. The trick? Stop chasing people for help and start being the person who makes them think, I need this person in my life. And in the next section, you'll see why sometimes the smallest act can lead to the biggest payday, even if it starts with something as ordinary as a penny. One day, Lewis decided to run a strange little experiment. He told himself, I'm a magnet for money. It comes to me easily and often. And he made a deal with himself. No matter what amount he found, he'd pick it up, say thank you, and treat it like a gift. The next day, he spotted a penny on the subway stairs. Most people would ignore it. Dirty, worth nothing. But he remembered the experiment. So he picked it up, smiled, and said, thank you, money. I receive later. He looked closer. It wasn't just any penny. It was a 1945 wheat penny, the kind collectors sometimes pay thousands for. Now here's the point. It's not about finding rare coins. It's about training your brain to see value where others don't. Because opportunities work the same way. If you're not looking, you'll step right over them. And in the next part, we'll tackle the trap that makes people blind to those opportunities. The false promise of get rich quick. We've all seen the ads turn $500 into $50,000 in 30 days. The yachts, the private jets, the screenshots of giant bank balances. But here's the ugly truth. Fast money often leaves even faster. Why? Because if you don't understand where your money is going, you can't protect it when it comes. It's like winning the lottery without knowing how to swim, and then buying a yacht. Every quick win I've ever chased without knowledge ended the same way, in loss, regret, and wasted time. That's why smart wealth builders don't aim for easy money. They aim to make money easy by mastering their craft and stacking skills. And in the next section, I'll show you why the best investment isn't in crypto, stocks, or real estate. It's in the one asset that never loses value: you. If I handed you $1,000 right now and said, invest this, where would it go? Most people scramble for the hottest stock, the trending crypto, or the next big real estate tip. But here's the secret most millionaires wish they'd learned sooner. The highest return investment is in yourself, not in comfort, in courage. Courage to learn a skill that scares you. Courage to speak on stage, to sell your idea, to pitch your work. Because courage builds confidence. Confidence shapes your decisions. And those decisions create the opportunities that change everything. When you invest in you, no one can take that asset away. It compounds for life. And it pays dividends in ways your bank account can't even measure yet. And in the next section, I'll show you what all this really leads to. The kind of wealth that can't be taxed, stolen, or lost in a market crash. Here's a question nobody asks. If your income doubled tomorrow, would your stress double with it? Because for a lot of people, it does. They upgrade the house, the car, the wardrobe, but not their peace of mind. They're still lying awake at night, running numbers in their head, afraid it could all disappear. Real wealth isn't about the size of your paycheck. It's about the size of your freedom. It's paying bills without fear. It's living beneath your means and still feeling like you have more than enough. It's waking up excited for your day, not just your payday. And the truth is, you can have that feeling long before you hit a certain number in your bank account. In fact, the people who feel free first often build the most lasting wealth later. In the final section, I'll show you the single shift that makes that possible, and why the richest people in the world are often the most generous. Here's the paradox. Most people never see until it's too late. Generosity isn't what you do after you become rich. Generosity is how you get there. Because every time you give, your time, your skills, your energy, you're telling yourself and the world, I have more than enough to share. And that mindset doesn't just attract money, it attracts trust, respect, and opportunity. The wealthiest people I've met all have this in common. They give in ways that make them just a little uncomfortable. Not recklessly, but exhaustingly, but in a way that stretches them, because they know the more you give, the more room you make for life to give back. So if you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. Your net worth will grow when your self-worth does. And self-worth grows fastest when you stop asking, what can I get? And start asking, what can I give? Because the richest life isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in the lives you touch, the problems you solve, and the joy you create along the way.